Is a 2-week diet really more effective than a difficult 6-month regimen? New research shows that this simple 14-day plan burns 4 to 8 kilos of fat. People who are overweight are up to 12 times more likely to develop diabetes. Think about that. If you don't face up to your excess body fat, you're walking around with a time bomb ticking in your body, just waiting to explode and ruin your life. And diabetes isn't the only thing you have to worry about. Excess body fat can cause aching joints, back pain, headaches, and more. Getting up in the morning is a painful experience, and the pain can last all day. Chronic fatigue and exhaustion that makes it difficult to enjoy life. Worse yet, many people have trouble falling asleep as well. Severe illnesses such as heart disease, stroke, cancer, depression, and even brain diseases such as Alzheimer's. I know how hard it is to break the cycle. I was overweight for a long time. Heck, let's just face it, I was obese. People gave me looks in the grocery store like I was some evil person. Even when I was picking up healthy food items, they stared me down. People thought I had given up. But really I was trying everything I could think of to lose weight. For some people, it's just a lot tougher than people realize. I tried hundreds of diets, and some of them worked, but the fat just came back after a few weeks. Even when I ate all natural foods, I couldn't shed the pounds. I was exercising like you wouldn't believe, sometimes for 2 hours a day. As it turns out, exercising too much was one of my biggest problems. I felt terrible. I was in pain all the time. Getting out of bed took special effort. But I was determined to find the solution I needed. Finally, I did. The real solution to long-term fat loss is natural and easy. Your body does 2 things really well. 1. Create body fat. 2. Burn body fat. If you're like me, it seems like step number 1 is a lot easier. But it turns out that your body is designed to burn fat, under the right conditions. The only problem is that most of us spend 20 hours a day creating fat. Think about that for a minute. 20 hours a day creating fat. Only 4 hours burning fat. You don't have to be good at math to know that's a bad ratio. In nature, we're supposed to spend a lot more time burning fat, but the modern world has made that much more difficult for our bodies. Once I figured that out, I decided to create a system that will put my body into a fat-burning mode more often, and here's what happened. First, I flushed out my body and cleansed it to make way for the healthy nutrition that was going to take over. Then, I shifted my body into fat-burning mode 3 times as many hours as before. I went from 4 hours of fat burning to 12 hours, and it completely obliterated the fat. Finally, I wrote down all my strategies and shared it with my friends and family, and they burned 4 to 8 kilos in just 2 weeks. Now, I'm no longer at risk of diabetes, and I've never looked better. No more prescription drugs. The cost of prescriptions only continues to rise in this country. Month after month, we spend hundreds of dollars just to stay alive. But many Americans are finally ditching the prescriptions and staying healthy the natural way, by burning fat. No more prescription drug costs. No liver damage and absurd side effects caused by pills. Saving that kind of money alone is worth the effort. Not to mention escaping victimization by pharmaceutical companies. Plus, of course, the great new body. 2 weeks. 3 phases. Up to 8 kilos. Some people I know have lost 8 kilos in just 2 weeks using this system I created. And seriously, it's the easiest program I've ever seen. I've tried tons of diets myself, and this is by far the easiest diet ever. In fact, it's the most fun. Who wouldn't be excited about losing half a kilo a day? The program is broken down into 3 phases, but it's phase 2 that really blows people's minds. Some people lose up to 2 kilos in one day. Really? No, really. That's happening. Now, of course, you can't sustain 2 kilo a day for too long. It just wouldn't be healthy. But experiencing that difference is life-giving, pure and simple. And if you like coffee, this program just got even easier. Losing weight is everything. It's freedom. For me, losing weight meant more than looking good at the family barbecue. It was my life. It was my freedom. I could finally run around with the kids and play sports with them. I could run on the beach without a trace of self-consciousness. I could sprint through the airport and know that I was going to catch my flight. My life was taking off. I didn't wake up feeling sluggish and exhausted before the day even began. I wasn't walking around with pain in my back and legs all the time. In every way you could imagine, I was finally free. So I decided to share these strategies with every person I possibly could. I need your help. Burning 4 to 8 kilos of fat in just 2 weeks is simply incredible. But in order to share this information with everyone who wants it, I had to do a few things first. 1. I had to hire someone who could put it all together in an easy-to-follow ebook. 2. Then I had to pay a web designer to create a website for the program. 3. Finally, I had to spend money on things like web hosting and data services, very boring but very important. I've spent thousands and thousands doing all of this. But I've done it because it's the right thing to do. In exchange, I'm asking for your help keeping this thing alive. Get the body you want and burn 4 to 8 kilos in just 2 weeks. I want you to experience the same transformation I did. That's why I'm practically giving this book away at the bare minimum price. It's just enough to cover my expenses and share this solution with all the people who have been asking me for it. So click this link in description below right now to get the costs covered, bare minimum price. But just a word of warning. My costs keep going up. The services I have to pay to keep this program online get more expensive every month. If you own a business or a boat, you already know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it just feels like a hole you throw money down. So by this time next week, I'll have to raise the price in order to make ends meet. If you're curious about this diet program, I strongly recommend that you check it out now, before my expenses force me to raise the price. Click the link in description below to learn how you can burn 4 to 8 kilos of fat in just 2 weeks.